Hi everybody, guess who I have here again? Okay, so it's our good friend Dragon Tan, right? Our property expert here. So how are you? How have you been?
Hey, hi everybody here on 1M65. This is Dragon. Yeah, I'm so happy to meet Mr. Lu today. Very busy since last year October to date. Busy building my team.
You changed portfolio, is it?
Not changing portfolio, but more like a mentor, a coach here. So from a team of 5 right now, probably growing more than 60 plus. So I'm managing people as well, apart from doing my personal things.
Big business already.
Okay, not that. It's just that it's passion. So I challenge my own agent that I challenge them to work with me until 2-3 a.m. every night at our own office itself.
Very good. So right now you are managing a team of agents plus yourself. Of course, you also continue to service clients, right?
That's right.
Okay, yeah. His service is incredible. I got 165 followers that become his client and giving me the feedback. His service is wonderful, right?
Thank you everybody for giving me the chance.
Yeah. And very important, anybody wants his service, I'll put the number here. Don't contact me. I'm not selling houses. He is, I'm not, okay? If any of your real estate needs, contact Dragon Tan. Don't contact me. A lot of people write to me as if I'm the one. Okay, I'm not, okay? So anyway, so interesting to see right now you're forming a team and things like that. But how's the property market right now? No, let's start with something like maybe HDB and private.
Okay, so we start first and foremost with the HDB first, because HDB involved the I would say the 77 to 80% of the population itself. For the HDB, we'll see more of the 1M HDB that is being reported in the mass.
Yeah, a lot. $1 million HDB right now, like
okay.
House is gonna price out the market every cow.
Okay. So one thing for assurance, the media love to exaggerate things. The number of HDB that probably the exceeded 1M, that is around 460 units last year, 2023, compared to 360, 370 in 2022.
So it's going up.
It's going up.
And up.
In 2021, there's around 200 plus units.
So this year will be 600. Maybe, I don't know.
Okay, given the trend, it probably break 550 for this year as well.
That's a lot, right?
Not really a lot, Sifu. Don't be alarmed by the 1M HDB. Now, and don't let this affect your emotion. Now, if you're going to take a look at the total number of HDB transaction a year, is around 26,000. No, 26. So it's less than 2%.
Is it? Oh,
yes.
Okay.
And just now I was mentioning to you, every 16 to 17 people walking on the street in Singapore, one is a millionaire, and not all millionaire want to stay in condo.
Yeah.
Not all millionaire want to stay in landed or cluster landed. Some millionaire like Mr. Lu, or probably there were a huge portion of millionaire.
I think my block here has a lot of millionaires.
They want space.
Their cars damn big.
Oh yeah.
I got Ferraris. I've got a lot of, most of them have a lot of Mercedes, BMW. I even got one Land Rover which is $500,000. So actually a lot, yeah.
Okay, so there are quite a number of millionaire who want to stay in HDB like Mr. Lu, multi-time millionaire, not millionaire. So I'm not surprised. So don't be alarmed by few hundred units, or don't, because the media just love to exaggerate. If not, there won't be any readership or follower. All right. And this constitutes to less than 2%, probably 1.6, 1.7%. Now, from the trend, yes, there's going to be an increasing number of 1M HDB, I think, for this year as well. I'm not surprised it's going to exceed probably 500 units this year to 550. And the good part is that government is doing job itself. We remember back in 2022, I shared on 1M65 video, Desmond Lee actually so-called implement a ruling, the HDB, that the private or the MND, the private property owner are banned for 50 months after the disclosure. Until you're 55 years old and above, you can buy 4-bedroom, 4-room flat or 3-room flat. So the 4-room flat in the market are moving very fast currently.
Really?
Probably 1-2 weekend it can be sold.
Really?
Yes.
Well, it's very fast, man.
Correct. Very fast.
What? They engage an agent, the agent start listing, 2 weekends is gone. 2
weekends is fast.
Really?
It depends on location as well, but generally I don't think it's tough. 5-room flat depend on location as well. I think Singaporeans generally are pampered, are very picky. They want to stay close to where the MRT is.
Correct.
And because the announcement by the PMB last year that they're going to implement more thing on the BTO. The future BTO that's implemented from second half of 2024 this year, they're going to start this scheme called the Standard Plus, meaning that there are more regulation on those BTO surrounding the MRT units. so that typically buyers are inclined towards buying those resale HDB currently around the HDB.
I see.
Yes.
Okay. So HDB is still going strong, and that's why we see more and more price going up. I think the news was just released that the HDB resale price going up, and also $1 million HDB. Do you foresee the government doing a cooling measure on HDB?
Typically, the HDB will affect the resale condo market as well, because the upgrader for the resale condo market actually come from the HDB.
Sure.
So I believe moving forward also, the MND are monitoring the market, but they can only monitor quarter by quarter. We need to have more statistics coming out.
Sure.
And way before, I believe government has all the statistics. They'll definitely come up with measures to keep the market slow and steady. It cannot be this way.
Yeah.
All right, because election is coming, it is also nearing, probably this year to next year.
Yeah.
We never know. So let's cover about the HDB market, which I think that is still moving quite healthy. So don't be surprised that you're going to have more HDB transacted at 1 million to 1.5 million. I'm not surprised.
Not surprised.
In between.
Wow.
Typically in the area like Toa Payoh, Kallang Whampoa, in area like Hougang, Serangoon, even Woodland and Yishun is happening as well. All right, even in Jurong. Now, coming to the resale condo. Resale condo right now, if let's say, it depends on district to district, the PSF probably is quite attractive, hovering around 1,004 to 1,005, 1,006 PSF. Of course, it's resale. It can be a bit old compared to the new launch, but I think that there's still a price arbitrage. So coming for this year, apart from the new launch that is launching probably around 2,000 to 2,002 PSF, resale market may be moving as well. So it depends on the appetite. It depends on the preference of the consumer, the buyer. People who love new, they'll still go for a new launch. And a buyer who probably they just want something that's immediate, I think that likelihood they'll upgrade or they'll buy the resale condo. So I guess that the resale condo will still be moving relatively gradual.
So right now, what's your market sense of on the ground? Is a resale condo up or down, or depend on where you stay?
Okay, depend where you stay. I think supply wise, it really depends the unit type as well. If you have unit that is probably the 3 or 4 bedroom, 4 bedroom the supply isn't a lot. The demand for 4 bedroom and 5 bedroom is relatively quite strong. So the level of support is there. I don't see any price decline as yet. For 1 or 2 bedroom, maybe for certain TOP project like I don't want to mention name in Tampines, in Serangoon, there's quite a number of because 21,000 units actually TOP over 2023. So remember 21,000 of supply, and majority are the 1 and 2 bedroom. 1 bedroom especially. So probably the 1 bedroom are finding time to sell in the resale market.
So big units are easier to sell, or small units easier to sell?
Okay, I was meeting 2 groups of 3 young buyers in their early 30s. So they asked me the same question as well. So I was telling them in terms of rental, the smaller unit are easier to rent, 1 and 2 bedroom. But in terms of own stay and the demand, you'll come for the 3, 4 or the 5 bedder.
I see. Okay.
So the 3, 4 and 5 bedder is easier to sell to the upgrader. The demand is there. You can see upside margin. In some cases where like Jigskate, Treasure Tampines, you can see the upside for the bigger unit, 700 to 900K.
I see.
Margin from the day one itself when they buy until the TOP itself when they sell. Buy and sell. So that 3 to 4 years waiting time, it brings them the profit margin around 700 to 900K.
Wow.
Yes, for the bigger unit, because it's a bigger floor plate. Each floor area per square feet, it go up by $10 or $100. It leveraged. So
this is where I want to ask: is it a case where every new launch I just buy for sure, wait for a few years for we finish building I'm gonna make a quick a few 100,000 that kind of thing?
It does not mean every new launch that you buy will make money. Just be very careful.
But everybody say sure make money.
Okay,
lose money.
Let me give you one example.
Sure.
I think it's 5 years back in 2019. My cousin driving a Lambo, driving Lamborghini, action.
Sure.
So he went to this condo in Orchard itself. It was a new launch, starting with a C in front. So back then, it was a studio, selling for around 1.85 to 1.9 mil. Studio, just a studio unit.
How big, roughly?
400 plus square feet. So back then, there was this very good project called the Park Esta. I love Park Esta. I want to buy, but back then because I was owning an EC, So I was within the MOP. If not, I'll go for the 4-bedroom to 5-bedroom. So given the 1.9 mil, I was asking you to go for maybe a 5-bedroom. But then there was a 5-bedroom that is 1.9 million. So I told him,
That's an EC.
that's a condo.
There's a condo.
That's a private
So
condo.
he has a choice between a studio in the city or a condo in the outskirts.
Outskirts. But this is very close to the East Coast because it's just like Eunos MRT.
Correct.
It's
But
just
it's still
opposite.
outskirts, not city, not
Yes, correct.
CCR.
Not CCR.
Okay.
So probably I'll say this RCR.
Same amount of money, one can buy a 4-bedroom or 5-bedroom.
5-bedroom, yes.
5-bedroom.
5-bedroom.
And here I can buy a shoe house.
A shoebox.
Shoe
Yeah,
box,
a shoe
yeah.
house, yeah.
Okay.
So he was telling me one thing, sometimes when I feel very DL, why DL? You ask me for advice, I give you my genuine advice, and then you don't hit my advice, you just go against my advice. But for me, your money, you just do whatever you want. I just tell you one time, 2 times. I'm not going to repeat myself for so many times. If not, I'm going to be low soul. So he insists on the one in Orchard. It's a 1-bedroom, 1.9 million. And one, he bought 2 units. One under the sister name. And because he told me one thing, it's his childhood dream to park his car, his Lamborghini in Orchard.
Okay, yeah.
So coming forward, 2019, now it's 2024.
Yes.
The 5-bedder in Park Esta is easily over 3 million. 3.2, 3.3.
So if you bought at 1.9, he would have made 1 million.
Correct. And then the so-called shoebox over that development in Orchard area is still around 1.9, no taker.
Really?
Because, typically it's very simple. Majority of the Singaporean are the heartlander.
Sure.
So given the same price, we want to buy something that is more of family.
Sure.
We need at least a 3-bedroom, 4-bedroom, or 5-bedroom.
Of course.
So going for Orchard to buy something that is 1.9, you want to sell 2.5, Singaporean may resist a lot. Because no point I can.
They say Angmo very rich, foreigner very rich, Chinese very rich, sure can buy.
Okay, the Chinese, Indonesia Chinese, yes, they're a foreigner, they go for CCR, they go for Orchard. But because right now they're 60% ABSD, and number 2, they want big unit. They don't go for small shoebox. They go for 3-bedroom, 4-bedroom, 5-bedroom. They go for penthouse. They go for small unit. So typically small unit, I would say it doesn't have its own advantages. Good renter, just like you buying REITs, very safe, good renter.
Sure.
But you want upside, it don't make any sense to the homeowners who are in the outskirts or the OCR.
I see.
My preferred choice is still in the OCR and the RCR.
I see.
The upgrader will probably support the market and push up the market.
I see.
You can follow me on my YouTube channel, Dragon Tan. I'll upload my upcoming video on what are the checklists when buying property in Singapore.
Okay, so please follow Dragon Tan. It's his YouTube channel. So much about new launches and things like that. Rental market, how is the situation now?
Wow, rental market.
I heard very true, yeah.
Okay, very true. The rental market was, if you follow Mr. Lu and my sharing since 2 years ago, when I just started, I did share the rental market was crazy 2 years ago. One viewing, one time slot during one of the weekend or weekday, we can have 10 plus people queuing outside. All right, this is not the
one weekend. 10 people queuing up. Teams of people, right?
The norm.
Norm. Okay.
Yes, some tenant back then they would just offer you without viewing.
Oh.
It was so crazy back then. So this is not happening now. Probably right now you have one listing for put up for marketing. The groups of so-called the potential tenant can come probably randomly. On Tuesday, one group, Friday, one group, Sunday, one group, very random.
3 groups in 1 week.
Correct.
Not 10 groups in 1 day.
So I have to share my own experiences.
Sure.
My wife has a unit for rent. It's a 3-bedroom in the northeast area, Sengkang. So used to rent at 4,008. And then what happens is that the tenant break lease, need to go back to the...
Angmo, is it?
Yeah, correct. The
hometown. Singapore cost of living too high for them.
So they need to go to the hometown itself. Okay. And what happened exactly is that currently right now, I try to put up remarketing over the last 2 months. Well, we have responses, but a lot of the offer came around 3,008 to 4,000.
So it was 4,008. Now the offers now is at 3,000 and 4,000. So that's 20% drop?
Around 15 to 20%.
Yeah, 15-20% drop, yeah.
Okay. The reason is because Sengkang and Punggol are largely residential.
Sure.
There's no presence of business park and the industrial park as yet. So typically the rental the price around the northeast tend to be weak as compared to Jurong West, Jurong East. because Jurong East and West is a large
Industrial
JTC.
hub.
It's a JTC, like,
Yeah,
the landlord here
yeah.
is JTC, a lot
Sure.
of industrial area, business park here,
Sure.
as compared to One North. So typically the rental around this area tend to be better,
Sure.
as well as the East Side Changi Business Park.
Sure.
So this is the thing that currently we are facing. And of course, some of the rental that you see on online, the transaction, it could probably be because of a renewal. Because sometimes the tenant are just lazy to shift out.
Sure.
And then the landlord are so lucky, they base on what is the current higher price or on the caveat to renew with the current tenant. So this is very lucky. But of course, on the whole, if you need to remarket and look for new tenant,
easily, how long it take?
I have a neighbor that is a 5-bedroom.
Sure.
Because they are very selective in their choice.
Sure.
The unit is a 5-bedroom. It has been vacant since September last year. So September is 9 月 9 月 10 月 11 1 2 3. It has been vacant for 7 months.
7 months
7 months.
7 weeks I be tahan already.
7 months.
So is it because the expectation too high?
They want to look for Amor in Sengkang, but come to think of it, there's not really a lot of Amor in Sengkang.
Amor nowadays not so atas, yeah.
Correct. So there's not really a lot of Amor in Sengkang. And then probably some owner, we respect that. They are more particular into the suitable tenant profile to take out their house. Likewise, my wife is also looking for suitable tenant.
So who are the typical tenant nowadays?
It can be the PRC group, in the Northeast PRC group, as well as the Indian aspects from India. This is what I encounter. For the central area, as Potong Pasir or probably Toa Payoh, you see more of the PRC, Korean as well. Japanese, they love to stay at River Valley area.
Okay.
But these days, we have the Japanese going outskirt as well, or probably to
Yes,
there was one
the yen too weak. Yeah. Okay, that's very interesting. So in a nutshell, HDB still going strong at the risk of maybe a government intervention. Private property now more steady, and potentially you can still make some money out of new launches, provided you pick the right place. And last one is a rental now is just very difficult, right? That's how it looks. So looking forward, this whole year all the way to the next, to 2025, what do you think the outlook look like?
This is the year of dragon. So typically in the year of dragon, things are very stable. I still foresee a stable growth for Singapore property market.
Sure.
And of course, a lot of people are waiting for the rates to be cut at least 3 times in the second half of the year.
Sure.
This is in anticipation.
Sure.
Today is April Fool Day as well, but this is no joke. The UOB, the account, or the UOB one account has started to lower down the interest rate as well for the eligibility. So I think looking forward, buyers who knew that the rates will be cutting soon.
Sure.
Over the next second half, probably they have already positioned themselves in the market itself.
Mm.
Even the new launches, the take-up rate probably is 30% for many of the new launches.
30%.
30%. It used to be 80-90%.
Yeah.
2 years, 3 years
I
ago.
always see the news, everything is 100% sold, 80% sold, 90% sold.
Buyers are selective.
Okay.
For certain launch, like Lentor mentioned,
Yeah.
75% on day one.
Yeah.
So buyer.
They mean that's not a norm.
Okay, right now the norm is around 30%.
30% on day one.
On day one itself. It used to be
Ooh.
80-90%
Yeah.
during 2021 and 2022.
I see.
So these days it's around 30%.
Okay.
Except for a few good launches, popular launch like Lentor mentioned, 75%.
Oh.
Because buyers are still price sensitive. There are still buyers in the market, just that they are very price sensitive. So they do not suka buay cai already.
Okay,
Yes.
okay. Yeah. So looking forward for this 1 year, you expect there to be a small recovery?
Transaction volume has declined, especially for the new launches.
Yeah, from 80% to 30% in
Correct.
in day one.
In the past 2021, 2022, we have
Sure.
around 13,000 units are sold.
Sure.
In 2021, 2022, we have around probably the 7,000. Last year 6,005. So a lot of agents 要死了 because
Really?
Okay,
要死
because I was telling my
要死 means
I was doing training. Yeah, correct. I was telling my group of agents whether the market up or down, it doesn't affect us so long the volume don't decline. But question
That's
is the
true.
volume decline, it will affect our rice bowl. If let's say less and less transaction, it's going to affect the agent badly as well.
Of course.
Yeah,
Of course.
this is my personal opinion. Really only the fittest and the good one can survive.
Okay, so but usually with a lowering of volume, there's some impact also on demand, right?
Okay, reason for the new launch is because over in year 2022 and 2023, the supply in the market is not a lot. So government is ramping up supply. So
Sure.
probably the lack of supply in the market for the new launches partly explain the reason for the low transaction. It doesn't mean that everything is going down. So sometimes it's just the way that the Age Property, the Straits Times, the Business Times, how they write the article. Don't be alarmed at the percentage. Look at the figures number.
Okay.
All right. The numbers will give you an overall idea and picture in mind.
I see.
Correct.
Okay. What do you think about the rental market moving forward?
Hopefully, that the GDP increase, the overall global economy, the outlook is good. MNC go for mass hiring of expats because rental depend on expat. It's not about local domestic demand. It's expat. So expat must come in, and expat are cow pay already right now. That everything is expensive here.
Yeah.
So so it depends on that outlook as well. I'm monitoring as well, and I hope that the MNC are hiring more people. Because anyway, I did mention that 21,000 units that TOP last year. This will soften the rental market for sure.
Oh, what about this year?
This year, okay, we don't have this number of so-called, we don't have 21,000 units.
Sure.
Good thing for sure, but last year there's a lot,
Okay.
21,000.
Okay.
And we hope that the rental remains stable, and probably you go back to my personal opinion, probably go back to at this rate and at this slight downtrend, probably you'll go back to what is pre-COVID.
I see. Okay, very interesting. So in a nutshell, looks like the property market in Singapore, it's okay. On the HDB side, going strong still. That's an issue of affordability, but that's a topic for another day. In the condominium world, we are looking at pretty good, steady returns so far. In the rental market, it's pretty difficult. Couple of fact that the cost of living is really expensive in Singapore. Really, there's a huge hit to the rental market. So I think all these are good data points for you to consider. We shall see how things map out in the next 8 months or 9 months to the end of 2024.
So government policy is very important. We really have to study the government policy well. How welcoming they are to the MNC in terms of tax incentive, rebates.
Yeah.
Just keep a lookout.
All right, good. Okay. So thanks for watching. Okay. As usual, this is Dragon Tan, very good friend of mine and a real estate professional. And if you have any needs for a real estate professional, remember, don't look for me, look for him. Okay.
Thank you so much.
Yeah. Okay.
Thanks for the trust as well.
Yeah. All right. Thank you. And I'll see you in a day or two. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. Bye-bye.